psychiatry is a colonial force. So what? Um, yeah, can you just elaborate a bit more on that?
Sure. See, what happens is when I suppose I have a story to tell you, and you are the psychiatrist, and I come to you say, and look, Doctor Saab, I'm having this problem. So you say, oh well, okay, I think maybe you have a depression, or no, maybe you have some kind of a neurosis. Okay, so, and you say, yeah, Doctor Saab, I have this problem. So now henceforth, or maybe schizophrenia, more deadly. Schizophrenia is the deadliest. Once you give a classification of schizophrenia, two things happen. First of all, people nowadays, thanks to the internet, everybody goes online and searches for schizophrenia. What is schizophrenia? And once they read all about schizophrenia, they're so worried and hyper about it that, oh my God, I've contracted such a serious illness. Whether they're having the symptoms or not doesn't matter. And then what happens is, thereafter, psychiatry takes over their life. So if you look at, when we see the word colonial, what used to happen, we all come from a society which was a colony once upon a time. We were the Indians, or all of us black and brown people, we were the barbarians. The Europeans, starting from maybe the Dutch or the Portuguese, or then the British, the last of among them, they came with the claim that we have superior knowledge and we have superior means to help you people who are technically barbarians, who are fighting among themselves all the time, who have no sense how to run your country. So we are the ones who can give you those tools, and in barter we give us whatever you give us. So that is how all colonists come into every colony. They come, so it's the white man's, basically the white man's problem also, that they come with solutions to other people. Similarly, psychiatry comes with solutions to people for their day-to-day problems by calling it a mental illness. So we say that the relationship between patient and psychiatrist is like the colonial master has with the colonized, the colonizer has with the colonized. Yeah, because they have an explanation for everything you're doing, and this thing you're backward, you don't have the tools of enlightenment, you don't have science with you. We have the science, we have the, and because it is seen as a system, as a form of medicine, as a field of medicine, as a specialty. So it is seen as something very scientific, very rational, very progressive, because it is able to come up with those categories and a system of classification which looks very scientific. So we also, as people, lay people, we believe that science is always acting for our best interest. That surrender that we live into science, that itself is questionable. Science is nothing but a method of inquiry about life's problems. And when I say the word colonizer, the colonizer is saying that I have the explanation, I know better for you. It's like a patriarch, it's patriarchy, that I know better. It's like the, paternalism, not just patriarchy, but paternalism. That bachche ko nahi pata, child doesn't know what is good for her or him, but the parent knows, as though they do always. That assumption that someone knows because of their expertise. So I am saying the word expertise with a certain, quote unquote thing, because that expertise itself is questionable. Of course, I can't go into the details of why the expertise is questionable for now, for this particular talk, because the effect of psychiatric medication, which I have seen for people who are on medication for 20, 30 years, is so damaging that it actually makes people disabled. So when you go into psychiatry, you are seeking help for some mental health, emotional issues, some heartbreak, some failure, some setback. But if the medication that you take for that reason is going to make you more and more disabled, is psychiatry any help for anyone actually? It is robbing people of their agency, turning a person seeking help into a patient by making them into a patient, making them feel helpless about themselves, and making them overwhelmed, making them feel overwhelmed about their life. And that is what is happening. So therefore, we have to see, does the word colonizer come across clearly, Poonam?
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
But it's big, like its families are worried about, people having not being able to cope if they're not on medication.
Yeah.
So how does one deal with this? How I think it's a kind of each person has to think about it in a way to find their own selves. So how would they do that? What is the way out?
That is the way, that the finding of the way towards your own self, the self which is so damaged, the self which is damaged for multiple reasons, it's not one reason. It's not psychiatry only which is caused. The damage has been caused by life, which pushes you towards psychiatry. But who is going to address the damage now? The damage is at such a deep level that one needs all sorts of support and help and guidance and counseling, nutritional support. I mean, that's the kind of work we also do, nutrition and homeopathy and so on and so forth. But what I'm saying is, because the self has been damaged and it has sort of solidified in a particular way, it has started to act in a certain way. The way may not be ideal for the person, it may not be the most optimal functioning for that person, but they are functioning now in a particular way. That's how it is. So that self has to be restored to whatever can be restored now. I have restored myself. I've seen other people restoring themselves. But I've also seen people who are not willing to be restored, who are so fixated in their worldviews and their belief systems. They will not change anything now. However much you may say, and if any opportunity comes by, they forego, they let go of the opportunity. That no, I am a schizophrenic only. This is the prevailing thing about me. Nothing can happen more than this. So if you have given up on your life, how can I give your life back to you? You have to be ready for the change first of all, isn't it? Only then, because the first thing about recovery is, those people who are recovering are showing one thing in common. I'm leaving aside their family. That family support is something different we can talk about on a different, maybe different day. But they are going to take responsibility for their life. That agency is the most important thing. Unless someone says that, yeah, I want to recover, I'll go the length, I'll do what it takes, nobody's going to recover. So that has to come from the patient first of all. So-called patient, for me, the person is a peer, and that is the kind of thing which is necessary. The first element has to. So initially, the patients, like I said when I started, that patients are not looking for recovery. They are very stable wherever in their patienthood. So it's the family caregivers who are looking actually, and inevitably, more often than not, it's the families who are reaching out to me, who are saying that my child, my so and so is suffering. Can we do something else now? So, and then that is how it starts. So that unsettling their equilibrium, they are now settled in the patient role. That takes time to understand their suffering, which psychiatry is not addressing, And then that's what I do. I hold hands, not physically necessarily, but I just try to understand their story, their suffering, and over time, slowly, when they are now ready to let go of the psychiatric medication, we start the withdrawal process, which of course is also a very seriously theoretical, methodological process. There is a lot of there is a lot of resources that go into that withdrawal, but we'll not go into that right now. So Poonam, does that answer
Yeah.
the question? Yeah.
Yes, yes. But